bolted the machine to the inside of the space capsule, took it to the moon in the Apollo 11 moon landing and a couple other space flights. Wall Street Journal called up, did a front page article on the equipment. Department stores called up saying, we can sell tons of these things. We can make you a millionaire. And the inventor said, no way. I'm never going to allow this equipment to become just another commercial fitness fad. Well, he went out and handpicked medical and fitness professionals around the country that he thought were good motivators and trained them to go out and teach the American people how to apply this information. Well, I saw that demonstration, and I tell you, I stood in a long line to apply for a job. They had 8,000 medical and fitness professionals applying for only 32 openings around the country, and they wrote me the most beautiful rejection letter you ever saw. I kept applying. They finally offered me a job after about a year, and I worked my way up to become district directors for Oregon and Washington. I got interested in exercise compliance. I wanted to figure out how do you keep people motivated to stick with this exercise equipment. And I got a chance to start my own company. I call it Ogie Fitness. I work out of Beaverton, Oregon. And I found that I could keep 90% of the people on their exercise program by doing some very simple things. So I've gone into some of the top companies in the Pacific Northwest and set up programs of motivation to increase compliance. But I got on their exercise program, and within 30 days I did things I'd never done before in my life. Now, I competed in organized athletics every year of my life between the ages of 11 and 23. I've spent as much as 24 hours on a single day in a conditioning program studying karate in Japan, where I earned a second-degree black belt in one of the most physically demanding karate schools in the world. But I got on their program, and within 30 days, I did 101 push-ups, and my heart rate went to only 95 beats a minute. I did 329 sit-ups in 15 minutes. I ran a mile in less than 6 minutes for the first time in my life. I put the Seattle Seahawks on a program. I put the Portland Trail Blazers on a program. I saw my wife lose an inch off of her hips in 6 days. But the most impressive change I ever saw came when I went to my son on his 3rd birthday. By the time my son was 5, he'd missed only 2 days of exercise. He was already outscoring 8-year-old boys on fitness tests. He could run a quarter of a mile in under 2.5 minutes. My son at age 5 had a stronger exercise habit than 90% of the American people. But you see, we don't talk about exercise at my house the way you talk about exercise. You're still in that American trend of trying to make exercise a fun event. And we don't do that. To us, exercise is a health habit like brushing your teeth. And nobody's calling up the friends saying, let's get together and brush our teeth. Okay. But I also don't talk to the American people about 20 to 30 minutes of exercise anymore. Because as intelligent as you look from here, you won't do it. So I talk to the American people about 5 to 7 minutes a day, because I can't find anybody coast to coast that will tell me they can't find 5 to 7 minutes a day to exercise. But 5 to 7 minutes a day done my way can double the fitness level of the average person within 6 weeks. It can help to reduce lower back pain and tension. It can help to reduce neck and shoulder tension, that thoracic outlet syndrome, which is a really expensive problem in American industry today. And it can stimulate the cardiovascular system. So how do we do that? Well, I brought along one of the machines. I'd like to do a couple of the exercises and then give you a chance to ask questions about this approach to conditioning and fitness, and see how it can be incorporated into your personal lives, as well as some things you might want to do in your company for injury prevention. This will take just a minute to get this going here. Last summer, I turned 50 years of age. When I was 18, I promised myself that on my 60th birthday, I'm going to get up, do 100 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, and run 5 miles in 40 minutes or less. I got up on my 50th birthday to give myself a spot check. I did 100 push-ups, I did 300 sit-ups, and I ran 5 miles in 39 minutes and 56 seconds. Now, I have run 5 miles outside only 4 times in the past 15 years, and one of those was on my birthday. Okay? But I haven't missed a day in over 18 years of doing this program and doing this workout. Now, I'm going to create resistance by pulling up on the top and turning the device. Let me see here. Yeah, we can do this. Right. Step over here, maybe more of you can see what I'm doing. I create resistance based on friction. So if he pulls on this handle at this setting, it's not hard to move, but it's an even resistance. In fact, if he pulls harder, the machine will automatically increase the workload. Now, if I touch the rope as he pulls, I can vary the workload. Now it's hard work. If I give him an ounce of pressure, he can't move it. So what I do is I teach a 4-exercise routine that can be done in 5 to 7 minutes a day without lifting. I assume that all of you have bad backs. In fact, I assume you just had back surgery yesterday and can't do any lifting. So what do I have you do? I have you pull down. See, the astronauts didn't have any gravity to work against. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. He's controlling my cord now. Okay, I'm going to have him pull down, just sitting right there in your chair. Arms straight out. He presses straight down. And I'm going to hold him there for how long? Why do I hold him? Warm him up and get him tired. And after 10 seconds, he's saying, please let go of the rope. Lactic acid is building up, and he's getting tired. And then the workout starts. I let the rope slide between my fingers. It should take him 12 seconds to finish the movement. Normally, he could hold the rope himself. Can you feel the stomach working yet? Sure. Yeah, the back, the arms, the stomach. It's awesome. Let's go back and do it again. Now, if I'm not here to hold the rope, here's what he does. He puts the rope between his fingers, and he squeezes, holds for 10 seconds. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 9, 10, and then let that rope slowly slide. And he's in charge. Whether you're a Seattle Seahawk or 3 years old, you can do this. You can sit in a hospital bed, and you can do this. Okay? And for a lot of you, it's more exercise than you've gotten all week. But as you get more fit, you increase the resistance. I found strength scores to go up somewhere between 30 and 50%. We need to make it simple, folks. We've tried the complex approach to fitness. We tried the fun approach to fitness, and we're worse off than we were when we started 30 years ago teaching that stuff. Stop teaching it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for your kids. It's not working. So we have to do something different. Now, let me show you how we work on the back pain issue. And there's an anchor on the strap that keeps the straps from sliding through the door. Now, folks, at the University of Arkansas, Dr. Barry Brown found that if you can exert at least 45 pounds of stomach strength in an electronic strength test that took about 5 seconds, there's virtually no chronic back pain. If you're under 5 pounds, there's a 95% rate of chronic back pain. Well, when I first found out about that, I was at a meeting of fitness leaders in Denver. And I volunteered to demonstrate the stomach strength test because there hasn't been a day since I was 13 years old that I couldn't do at least 200 sit-ups. I got up there in front of all those fitness leaders and I flunked their tests. Scored 27 pounds. I tested again, gave it everything I had. I mean, my life flashed before me. This was important. And I scored 28. I went to Dr. Brown and says, how can this be? I can do all these sit-ups and I'm flunking your stomach strength test. And Dr. Brown said, big deal. We have people in our lab doing 2,000 sit-ups a day and they're flunking the stomach strength test too. Sit-ups don't develop stomach strength, they develop endurance, but it's the strength that keeps your back from hurting. So within 2 weeks, I got up to 85 pounds of stomach strength, but I changed my workout. Here's what I now do and teach for stomach strength. The handle goes behind the neck. I bend the knees, I lean forward, and I hold for 10 seconds and just let the abdominal muscles burn. And after 10 seconds of pulling, because you're pulling at a rate that you can handle, not me, you got to pull for you. And after 10 seconds, I let the rope slide between the fingers, touch the rope so that it takes me 12 seconds to go down as far as I can go. And hopefully that's as low as my waistline or maybe my knees or maybe even farther. And then once I'm down, I stop, slowly straighten those tight hamstrings, which get tight from sitting so much. And to get out of this, I hang on the rope and just lean forward and walk straight ahead so that I come up underneath it and come up without compressing my spinal column. And I do that exercise twice more. Neck and shoulder tension. American kids have as their weakest area on fitness tests the upper body. Only 44% of our kids can do a single chin-up, which means if they get stuck out in the woods and have to lift their body weight into a tree to save their lives, 56% of them won't make it back. So we send them to school with a 40-pound backpack on their back, and they're walking like this. We sit them down at a desk all day long. And then we graduate them to go out into the work world and work for you. And what do? We spend most of our day either at a desk or at a steering wheel or at a dinner table. But we got neck muscles now so tight we can't get any blood flow to our brain. That causes more headaches. We get a pinching of the nerve between the 5th and 6th vertebrae. Now we got numbness in the fingertips. We have a whole new crisis, thoracic outlet syndrome, created in American business, and it starts with weak and tight upper body muscles and neck and shoulder muscles. We need to change that. The upper back pull is awesome. The abdominal pull is awesome. But I want to show you a third exercise that one company used in this trio and was able to cut the workers' comp, they said about 80% within 60 days with their people who worked around computers. But I found that I was able to get myself out of shoulder pain for the first time in 15 years doing this 30-second exercise once a day. It's a shoulder stretch. Now, I got into shoulder pain when some cowboys invited me to Central Oregon to teach them conditioning for a bull riding school. They said, if you really want to help us, Ogie, you need to get on a bull so you can understand what it is we really do. That's the dumbest thing I've ever done. Put both hands over the head, put one foot forward, and I hang here for 10 seconds. Go out 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and I hang here for 10 seconds. And then I hang underneath for 10 seconds. Once a day, every day. I turn it into a habit. It takes 30 seconds. mean, how much discipline do you have to do a 30-second exercise that keeps you out of pain? So I do it absolutely every day, once a day, every day. And then for those of you who are motivated by your golf performance more so than your heart attack risk, understand this, that the key phrase you're going to hear in sports conditioning today is condition the movement and not the muscle. We've been saying that for 30 years. We call it specificity. You got to build the movement in the muscle build the muscle in the motion of the activity. So, for example, if you golf, you want to build strength in your golf swing. But we found that most men are 4 times stronger in the bicep than they are in the tricep. What's the big deal? 73% of the work in a golf swing is your tricep, but you're 4 times stronger in your bicep. This is your drinking muscle. This is your golf muscle. And that affects your coordination, timing, and reaction time. So we have golfers reduce their injuries and improve their performance by going through their golf swing against this controlled resistance, and we can increase the distance of their drive 35 yards within 6 weeks. If it were a wall pulley or a barbell, once you got it moving, the work is over. It's getting easier, but not with this approach to conditioning. And then women were more concerned with cosmetics, and they have this problem area right under here. I used to do assembly programs in the public schools, and the kids would come up and talk about grandma's arm. I said, what's that? They said, you know, grandma's carving a turkey. This thing's flapping around. And there's no diet in the world that firms that up. So we bring the elbows in, we push down for 10 seconds, and make the tired muscles work through a range of motion, working that tricep muscle. And the final thing I want to show you is how we replace that 30-minute aerobic workout. Now, I hurt my knees playing football when I was 13 years old. I walked with a limp for 10 years. I finally woke up one day and my leg wouldn't straighten, and I had major knee surgery. I have developed degenerative arthritis as a result of that, but I rehabilitated myself using this method of exercise. I had an orthopedist in Portland examine me. He said, what do you do for a living? I said, I set up conditioning programs for people. He said, that's interesting. And 2 weeks later, his patient started calling up saying, the doctor says you don't have any business being as healthy as you are with the knees that you have, and he wants us to start doing whatever it is you do for exercise. So I showed him. We learned that whenever you go out to jog outside, every time your foot hits the ground, the jar is equal to 3 times your body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, that's 450 pounds of force every time your foot hits the ground, and your foot will hit the ground somewhere between 800 and 2,000 times for every mile you jog, depending on the length of your stride. So in sports medicine, we're taught to teach you to go jog up a hill. We can't even get you to jog on level ground. So you find out where the hills are and you go the other way. But this track coach found out that his runners who ran against resistance had fewer injuries, had shorter workout times, and had fewer knee problems because you're working the hamstring muscles. The women found that this exercise tightened up the backside, which is a real important area for them. So we start out against resistance. 3 years old or Seattle Seahawk, doesn't matter. Just about anybody can do this. I sent a kid to the National Wheelchair Games representing the state of Oregon for the first time in the history of the state after training him for only 2 weeks to wheel his wheelchair out against this resistance. Lifting the knees, swinging the arms. I get to the end of the rope in 30 seconds and I adjust the resistance so that I can do that, and then I stop. Now we call that interval training. Interval training is used by every running coach in the country because it has a 50% greater total work output than running non-stop. There's less weakening of the bones in the leg, less fatigue, and less total time spent. So I stop, I go back, I hook up, and I do it again. But this time I do something different. Did anybody ever tell you you have muscles in both directions? So we go backwards as well as forwards. Otherwise, you'll build imbalances into your routine. So I go backwards as well as forwards, and we learn there's a better strike on the foot going backwards than there is going forwards. There's a neurological advantage for stroke patients. Some people with back problems benefit quite a bit from going backwards. People with problems with their big toes who can't go forwards can go backwards. And you'll burn between 38% and 119% more energy going backwards than you will forwards at the same speed. And then as you get more fit, you can start to intensify your workout for those of you who want to. I lift my knees, I swing my arms, and I can start to jog. And I'm not sharing my unfitness with the whole neighborhood. It's none of their business. I'm not worried about the weather. I'm not worried about travel. I absolutely don't miss part of my daily routine. If I get bored, I got my TV. And if I need motivation, I put donuts on the counter and I got a goal to work for. But absolutely every day. And then how do you stay motivated to do a program like this? Byron Thompson runs the Dale Carnegie course in the Portland area. He says, people don't do what you expect, they do what you inspect. If you're not inspecting what you're doing in fitness or in your business, you're going to have problems. The way one client of mine put it, he said, in my business, we practice the principle that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And if you can't manage it, you can't use it. But I've asked 6,000 people over the past year, how do you measure cardiovascular fitness? And only 1% of people have been able to tell me. So I want you to take 2 fingers and put them against the side of your throat right now and find your pulse. For the next 6 seconds, count the pulse beats starting now. Stop. Multiply that number by 10. How many of you got 100 or more? How many got 90, 80, 70, 60, 50s, 40s? Anybody leave it at home? Okay. Average resting heart rate is about 70 beats per minute. The more cardiovascularly fit you are, the lower your resting heart rate. The lower your resting heart rate, the higher your life expectancy. We've seen runners get down to 35 beats per minute. Okay? So you want to do things that drop your resting heart rate. If what you're doing for exercise is not dropping your resting heart rate, then it's probably not improving your cardiovascular fitness. So get your heart rate down. You should be flexible enough. Oh, another way to measure cardiovascular fitness is a step test. Step up and down on a chair 16¼ inches high, or a box for 3 minutes. Or you can do it on an 8-inch step. And after 3 minutes, take the pulse for 15 seconds and multiply the beats by 4. Your pulse shouldn't be above 144 beats per minute for men or 156 beats a minute for women. 75% of the people fail that test. 25% of the men and 33% of women can't even finish the test, and of the ones who do, they're usually about 176 beats per minute. Within 30 days of doing the workout that I've just shown you, 50% of the people will pass that test, and within 6 weeks, 75% will pass it. They'll drop their heart rate about 30 beats per minute, comparable to going out running 2 to 3 miles a day. And then to stay out of back pain, you need to be flexible enough to sit on the floor with your legs straight and reach your fingertips, for men, 5 inches past your toes. I know, women should go 7 inches past. And then your blood pressure. 2/3 of the businesses that I go into in the Pacific Northwest are being run by a manager and owner with an elevated blood pressure reading. Half these people don't know the readings are up. Of the ones who know that it's up, only 10% are doing anything about it. It used to be a men's problem. Then I found a lady real estate agent with a reading of 170/120. We got her on medication that day. Now, get your blood pressure checked. It's one of the first signs that something's going wrong with your system. My average client will drop their blood pressure 12 points on the top number, 4 points on the bottom number within 30 days of doing it this way. Strength scores go up about 30%, and the body measurements start to change. Your inches start to be lost. And keep in mind, it isn't just about weight loss. One lady started a 15-mile-a-week jogging program with light weight training in the Portland area trying to lose weight. She gained 8 pounds but dropped 6 dress sizes. We need to know how to look deeper into our bodies to find out what's going on. But 90% of the people who test once a week will start an exercise program within 7 days. 90% of the people who re-motivate themselves by testing every 7 days will stick with their workout indefinitely. So if you want to get your company motivated to exercise, quit talking about exercise and start talking about testing, because it gives them a reason to do it. And more importantly, it gives them that information that allows them to make better choices, because a lot of you are making lousy choices and lousy mistakes because you don't know how to measure physical fitness. So 7 days a week, first thing in the morning, you work out. Once a week, you measure your fitness level. And let me just finish with this, and I'll let you ask some questions. Don't ever forget that one of the most important things you have to do in your day is to stay healthy. There's nothing that'll change your schedule or your financial picture faster than you losing your health. And most of you know that. That's why you have insurance. But one of the best insurance policies for health today, we're finding, is simple daily exercise. It's been estimated as much as 80% of the health problems in America today are traced to the fact that you don't get enough exercise. Everything from glaucoma to diabetes, cancer, is being traced to the fact that we don't do a real good job with exercise. But think long term. Think long range. Okay? Think about developing exercise into a lifestyle, into a habit. And that's the way you'll get the tremendous benefits of this wonderful, call it elixir, call it drug, whatever you want. But it's the best thing we got going as far as impacting the health of the American people.